Hi and welcome to today. I'm Amanda and I'm taking you on my 31 days of essential tools and supplies. My essential tools and supplies may be different from yours, but today we're going to be playing with. So let's get started. Hey guys, and welcome to another 31 days of Art Studio Essentials. So today what I wanted to show you were my Fineliner pens. Right, so I use Fineliner pens usually in my art journaling, and when I used to make cards. I still do, but I don't use kind of pens. I use I might use, what would I do? I would create a kind of clay figure or a mini art canvas now with my Fineliner pens. With my card making, I don't kind of, or if I'm drawing and sketching. So, now I've inherited some. And the reason why I've got a few here is because I just really wanted to show you a variety and tell you what I've found to be the case for me. I mean, I've heard people, and let's just jump right in here, the Faber-Castell. So I brought myself a whole set of these Faber-Castell Pit Artist pens, as you can see. I think I got a set of 6, and then I brought some loose ones, and worked really well, fine, lovely to begin with, but they didn't last, and they are supposed to last. They dried out. I kept them in terms of storage. That was a calligraphy one, so in terms of storage I kept them as they should be, but they dried out. This is just a black, yeah, anyway, so as you can see, it's not that fine in terms of line, and they all just kind of dried out. It's just like really weird. And even, the pens, so this is a medium, and for working in your art journal, it was just like, yeah, this is going to be absolutely perfect. And they all just dried out. And it was just like, they not only dried out, but the nibs, I'm not a heavy, user in terms of nibs. The nibs, they just disappeared. So maybe what happened is I got a dud batch, even the very finest one. It's like, this is S was small, I guess. No, small, broad, medium, fine. And this was it was just like so disappointing. And maybe I don't even know what to say, because can you get the ends off? So maybe I guess you can refill this, yeah. Actually, I've got some waterproof ink. So the ink in there, I was just looking for the end. The ink in there is waterproof. No, actually, I have tried to refill it. But if the nib is gone, what can you do? I don't think you can replace the nib. And it's just like, they're not cheap. And it was just like, what has happened to the nib? Is it that they just dried out? And I don't think that to be the case. So I've got, it's like, I'm still hanging on to them, because, it's just like, when I brought them, it was just like, yeah, this is a good set of pens that will last me. And they didn't last but, a few months. And then I had to try and find some alternatives. So the alternatives that I did find are these ones. And these are just, this is a soft rollable pen, but in terms of it being fine, in terms of sketching, this is one of my favorites. And it gives you a really, let's go in. to investigate. So it gives you a really fine point. And there's this store that just sells discounted stuff, and I got them there, and they sell them in packs of 3 for £1, and it was just like, can't go wrong there. So I just brought up loads of them and use them, you know, especially if I want to do sketches. The other one that 3 that I inherited, and they're expensive, and so I haven't. It's just like I'm not getting rid of them until I can do something with them. They're refillable. I'm not sure about this one. This is Letraset. Anyway, they're refillable, and it took me. This is like, I mean, look at the. Can you see? Can't even see the end. Let's do it on here. That is a really fine point. That's the finest. This one is the finest point I've ever seen. 0.25, and I never worked for this one. I haven't yet worked out how to open the end. Oh, I'm not going to tell you how long I've had it, but there is a way, and I didn't want to break the end. And then these two, again, it's like, I know that they're not cheap. Again, they're very fine. This is Rotring Isograph, and these are refillable. They are refillable, aren't they? Embarrassed. Oh, yes. Is that? I don't know why I'm doing this now. Anyway, they are refillable, and I think I did refill one, but it didn't work. So I didn't want to throw them away, because I thought to myself, well, is it just because it needs a good clean, or, you know, or what? And so I didn't do any more investigation. So these are another set that I don't use, that I'd really love to do some really fine work. This is, I was blessed by a friend, and she gave me 2 of these, and you fill them with water soluble, but it's not really a fine liner pen, but it's like a brush, but you can get fine, you know, if you think of some of the Letraset pens, not Letraset, the Faber-Castell, the artist pen, the thicker ones, the brush ones, this gives you a really nice finish, and it works well in art journals. And then the last ones that I brought, again, I got a set of these for, I don't know, they were under £10, and so many lovely colours, but they're very fine. That's why I like these. So what would be nice with these is if they had more than one black, but it's beautifully, they're beautiful in terms of being fine. Has it got more than one black? No, it hasn't. They're lovely. They're lovely to work with, very thin, and make a good, I guess they'd make a good travel kit. I'm supposed to be travelling soon, so they'd make a good travel kit to work with. And it just comes with one black, so that's like the downside of that, because I use the black quite a lot. I use the black for everything, basically, you know, when you're sketching. And I don't normally use the colours, but they do come in handy. So again, I got this. This is, it just says Scribblicious, but this was again from one of those stores that sell discounted stuff. And you know, so it's worthwhile looking round, you know. Maybe I just, with the Pitt pens, maybe I just got a bad batch. Maybe that's all it is. And you know, I've heard people swear by them, and I wanted them to work really well, but they didn't. And the cheaper version are the ones that, you know, are my go-to, have been the go-to, and have been really good. The only thing with these is they're not waterproof, so you would have to try and, you know, spray them or whatever it is if you wanted to do mixed media on them. And then these ones again are really nice, great for sketching. It's something that I'd like to do a bit more of. I haven't, you know, sketched for such a long time. Just really want to get the hand back in there, and just especially if you're traveling and you don't want to carry paints around, you know, having, you know, like a small little set like these, you know, you don't have to take all the colours with you. I won't have to take all the colours, just the kind of primary colours and maybe a few additional ones. And yeah, that's really good. Just thinking if there's anything else in here. No, there's, yeah, so again, these are the ones that I would really, these are the ones I'd recommend if you were going to buy them. But definitely shop around, because, you know, the ones that are really expensive are not always the ones that are best, depending on what you're doing. But you know, and if you're art journaling, it pays to kind of, you know, experiment and, you know, try out different varieties of pens to see what will work best for you, especially if you're painting as well and you want to, you know, write. I just recently got these painters, and I did do a video of these painters, and you would have seen it in the mark making. But I recently got one that's a fine one, and they really work well on art journals over paint. It's called paint. It's they're opaque markers, and they're permanent and streak free and fast drying. So I'll leave a link in the description if you want to kind of check these out. But these work really well over art journaling, paint, any type of paint. I've found it works really well. Paper that's been glued on or whatever it is, and you can get some fine ones there. What else? There is, I don't have it on here, but with the Pro markers you can get an attachment, and I did, oh no, actually I thought that was one of them. I did do I think I did a review on my blog. It's literally, you take the lid off and the attachment, you apply it to the end. Now the Pro marker pens, the fine, it comes with 2 nibs, and the fine nib on here is actually quite fine. But with this attachment, when I brought it, it came to, when I brought it for my the black pens. I'm just, as I'm talking, just seeing if I've got it here. But I brought it for my black Pro markers so that I could utilize them as a fine liner, because as I said, I was finding that when I'm working in my art journal, I wanted something with just a finer nib. You know, when you're trying to find something, it's the very thing that eludes you. Anyway, so it's, yeah, they come in sets of 3, and I think I must have paid just under £10 for them, but it was really worth it, because you could take any of your Pro markers and make them into fine liners. And, you know, you usually do this, use them for illustration, and I started illustrating a while back, or illustrating some, you know, trying to do kind of comic-like characters. But I love the Pro marker pens because they're, and this is not, again, not a review, because they don't smear or leave kind of marks when you're colouring. Anyway, so I'm going to leave it there. That's the fine liners. But as I say, you know, you can get additions that you can add to your pens and make them into a fine liner I'm still looking, still looking. Anyway, so I'm going to leave it there. Take care for now. Thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe if you do like it. And I hope it's been helpful, and I shall see you tomorrow. Okay, take care. Bye.